Hey, this is DJ Strick, and this is another opportunity for me to do Strick City Live. I haven't done Strick City Live in a long time. So to kind of get my feet wet, I'm recording this so you can see it. That being said, I am going to go throughout the city of Birmingham and all over for all of my friends to be able to sit down with me right here in the studio at the Links in Birmingham, Alabama. So if you don't know me, it's real easy. DJ Strick, you can look me up everywhere. I've been in the music business through radio for a very long time, and thank goodness I get to stay in it because of my wife, who is a jazz flutist. Y'all can look up Kim Scott. She's doing her thing, Billboard charting artist, and I get to carry her flute bag around the world. It is really cool. But now, I'm sitting down with some of my friends and getting the opportunity to talk about what they're doing in the city and how phenomenal they are. So for my first guest on today's show, I have a friend of mine that has been in the arts, I want to say his whole life. As a young kid, he started doing plays and music and singing, and he has not stopped. And not only that is he talented in the arts from acting and singing, but he's also a phenomenal graphic artist. Like, that was hard for me to say only because he's talented and he don't like doing it. I don't know why. It takes him a long time to do it, but he's really good at it. So a lot of my flyers you saw in the past, my wife's Kim Scott Block Party radio logo was actually made by him in seconds. Like in seconds. Yes, it was seconds that he did it. And he's so talented, and I'm glad to have none other than Mark Raby here at the show with me. Mark, man, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Man, so I did not lie one time, did I?
There's a little shade in there, but it was okay.
Was it a little shade? But it was a good shade. It was a good shade.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for trusting me with the logo. It turned out great.
It did. More than just the logo. I think one year you actually did Celebration of Gospel flyer for me. Mm-hmm. And that was phenomenal. I actually was looking through some old stuff and I saw a couple of those flyers, and I was just at awe of what we were doing in the early 2000s here in Birmingham. That being said, Mark, let's go current. Let's start with your new location for Encore. So not only are you talented, but you own your own theater.
Well, I like to answer that by saying yes and no, Strick. Yes, I do run and operate Encore Theater. It's a nonprofit theater. But I also like to say it's the community's theater.
Okay,
you know,
I'll take that.
I like to say that it's a place where our community gets to have a shared experience in theater and the arts, and so I'm just kind of driving the ship. How about that?
Okay.
How about that? You know, sometimes people hear Mark Raby's got a theater and they think it somehow cancels out their ability to come and create with us. So I just want to make sure everybody knows that it's our theater, Strick.
Listen, I'll take that. So for a long time, you were in the Roebuck area, kind of where we are now. Now you have a location downtown Birmingham. Tell me about this new location and why there and why now?
Well, let me say that the East Side was very kind to us, very kind to us. I don't know whether that's attributed to everybody just galvanized to support what we were trying to do, or just there was a lack of venues like the Encore on the East Side. But either way it goes, they were very kind to us since our inception in 2018. Why we moved downtown? One word, Strick: accessibility.
Okay.
It's our desire that all of the neighborhoods and the communities in the city have an equal opportunity to experience the work that we're doing at Encore. So yeah, we just want to be a little bit more accessible, and being at our new location down on 2nd Avenue North affords us the opportunity to do that.
That's awesome, man. You have some current plays that are going to be going on that people need to be aware of?
We have a lot going on, and I know they're going to be devastated. They don't have Strick singing solos. And,
I know that was really hurt.
I know it's going to break their heart.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. I mean, you're already there.
We literally have been debating that fact for now over a decade, Strick. So we got to figure out how to
sing.
get you a selection. Like a solo. in there. But in the meantime, until they get to hear you, yes, we do have a full season of shows coming up. We're most excited about innovating in some spaces that we haven't had the opportunity to play before. I just made an announcement the other day that we're getting ready to do our own take on Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
And I also had to make it very, very clear that this is not the Beauty and Beast that you may have grown up with. In fact, what inspired it is the original book, which happens to be public domain.
Okay.
And so we're excited.
It's aged out, right?
Yeah, man. And so we're excited about breathing new life into the story in a way that relates to our community. That's the whole reason why the Encore exists. I think I said that on our last project. We wanted to create a space that gave space to voices like my own.
That's good.
To have a platform, to have the means to share their own stories, to speak to a community that often gets overlooked when it comes down to the theatrical circuit. So we're going to do that with Beauty and the Beast in a very unique and special way. Our plan is to do it here in the great city of Birmingham in August. So you just got to stay tuned. I can't promise them a strict solo. I can't.
No. I can't promise them that either.
What happens is,
what happens is that most of the time when I sing, people have a real physical reaction
right,
to it.
It does something to them.
And if we don't have enough people to catch or to kind of
right, because man, can you imagine?
Right.
God, no ushers.
Right. You don't want that to happen at a play. Like half your audience,
gosh, it's slain
in the spirit
because of that thing
you seen
have.
them fainting at a Michael Jackson concert,
Ooh,
right? They have big security guards pulling them out of the
ones.
crowd. Like, you don't have that at your events, right?
So I can't guarantee that solo, for insurance reasons.
There you go.
Yeah.
We got to look out for the people and our pockets.
Absolutely.
So that being said, let's go back. Mark, I really don't remember when we met. And I'm thinking it was you were advertising a play for the very first time. And some kind of way you got into the jam studio with me for Strict City, and we talked about your play, and after that we just stayed connected. And I learned all of the vastness of who Mark Raby is and all of your talents from, like I said, the graphics and the plays and all of that, your connections with other people in the city like George Stewart, which is just phenomenal because of his history and music like myself, and also plays just like what you do. So I really respected who you were and how you were connected, but more importantly, because of that connection that we had, I was able to do some things that nobody else had done. We did a audio play for Christmas. Strick's Family Christmas. Do you remember that?
And it had episodes.
It did have
and it had its own jingle. I told you a little while ago, I don't know why that didn't top the charts. The jingle was like...
Listen, to be honest with you, I think it's still up on iTunes.
Oh, Lord.
Podcast. You can hear it, but I really...
It's unfinished, so people are going to be mad at us all over again.
Because we didn't end it?
Because we didn't go... There was no, season finale or something like that.
We ended pretty
So
well,
I have people
right?
tell me that all the time, what was happening next? What happened, so...
I don't remember going back in the studio. I do remember doing it once, but I thought it was complete.
I remember we did, multiple episodes at one time or something like that, so... Letting out all the secrets.
We should do that again.
Yeah.
And if it's not me, you know what I have found? That sometimes I have some great ideas. The ideas are not always for me.
Well, remember I harassed you around this time last year, and I said, we've got to do this soap thing.
The what thing?
This soap opera thing. We've got to do it again. We have to. I think we worked great together.
Soap opera.
Yeah, that's what I feel like the Strict City Christmas was.
It was a nice soap opera.
Really great soap opera, tied to the holidays, anchored by Strict. I think it worked out great.
Do you mind if we make this interview about Mark Raby?
It is about Mark Raby.
So, because of that, I'm bringing this up because I'm not the only talented person you had a chance to work with and kind of push their career. But I know because of you, I was able to do some things that without you, I could not have done.
Okay.
That being said, I wouldn't have. You wrote the script for the play. I just halfway acted it, you know what I'm saying? And it was cool, but you wrote that. That creation came out of your brain, and it helped me as a DJ, an artist, and just someone that loves the arts as well. Because, you know, sometimes it's funny that I'm saying this because I want to put it in context. Mm-hmm. You know, we had in the past these rappers that were like bigger than life, and they were rapping about street life when they were really just poets. They were really just artists, like poets writing poetry, but they wanted to make themselves so big and so hard. Like, dude, come on, man, you writing poetry, words, your sentences rhyme. You can't be that hard.
You know, one of the great things about that particular play is it kind of set the precedent for the point that I've been trying to make with Encore. Often I'm talking about how do we diversify what we see on stage with black performers in our city, a city that is more than half populated with African American citizens. How do we make sure that we're represented on the art scene? And I took a play and I filled it with people who did not consider themselves actors, because it was important to make the point that there's something innately on the inside of us as a people, right? And that's how we were able to, you know, put the show.
What was the name of the play?
It was These Three Words.
These Three Words.
Yeah.
Chris Coleman.
Yeah, Chris Coleman. LP. Isis Jones.
Mimi. Mimi was the main character of the play, right?
Alvin Garrett.
Alvin Garrett was in that play.
I think Jillian Gray was in that show.
Yes. And I was in the show. We actually did it in. Was it no, I did another play with you. So this play was actually done at Sanford and in their theater, and I was just at awe. At that point, I had an opportunity to work with you and connect some of the dots with some of those folks to be a part of the play, and everybody was so willing to do it.
Yeah, I had someone gave me a wonderful word after that production that was tied to the people who made up the show. And the man of God said to me, do you see how willing people are to trust you and to follow your lead? He said, don't ever squander that opportunity. Don't ever miss the favor that God has given to you to just make people be divinely connected to what you're doing. And so I've tried to cherish every opportunity that comes with having unique personalities on the show. So yeah, man, you made me leap. How about that? You made me leap and trust that I could do the things that I continue to do even today. So I gotta give you a slight shout out, even though the interview's about me. Give you a slight shout out.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So let me ask you this question. You have some really big connections to some really big names in our country right now. And one of them is a gentleman that you brought from Day 26 as an artist. Can you explain the connection with, I forget his name, but I know you know it. Can you explain the connection you have with him?
Well, the black theater circuit is actually smaller than one might think. You know, it's why there are intersections of theater that often cross the same paths of amazing playwrights, like the Tyler Perrys, you know, like the Jacarius Johnsons, like the David E. Talbots. We're all sort of building from the same pool. And so because of that, it's afforded me the opportunity to have amazing talent to come work with me because we've just intersected in the space. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying before about God has just divinely graced me with having great things said about me before I go a place, and hopefully even greater things after the experience, and they continue to come back. So folks like Willie Taylor from Day 26, or the Chrisette Michelles and the rest of those personalities have really just been a testament to when you treat people right, you know, that right is returned. And so there's nothing special about what I do that makes me have earned their trust or their willingness to work with me. It's really just been God's favor, Strick, and that's the truth. I really cannot explain all of what's occurred in my career. I look back and I think, just God, you know.
Has it been 30 years now?
It's 29. 29 straight. 29.
That's awesome, man.
29.
It really is exciting to hear that and to know, like, I've seen a lot of the journey. The last one I went to was a Christmas event you had when you were still at Roebuck. You had some phenomenal singers.
Okay.
And I was just blown away from the set, from the singers, the sound, the atmosphere, the food. Are you still doing food?
Yeah, every blue moon, we think that all forms of the arts should be celebrated at the Encore, and so that often includes the culinary arts. It often includes us bringing in caterers, some known, some unknown, to come do their thing, and in turn, our community gets an opportunity to experience what it is that they do on the cooking side of things. But that show was Solo Christmas. It's kind of our annual Christmas show.
At that show, I mentioned there were a lot of young ladies that were singing there, but there were also a young man out of Montgomery.
David.
David
actually was one of the finalists on The Voice a couple years back.
Yeah.
David Mitchell, or the city probably knows him better as D Smooth.
Okay.
And David's kind of like you. You know, you had a willingness to come on and do the show. Wasn't entirely certain of what the results would be, but you trusted me to do it. Same thing with David. You know, David.
Let me say this, and I do want to wrap up. Dude, you have a phenomenal talent.
I appreciate that, Strick.
Like, God has really blessed you in a lot of different ways in the arts. You've been doing this for 29 years. What do you see in the future for yourself?
Man, it's a great question. I want to continue to be steadfast in the work that I'm doing, because I was asked recently, what was my hope? What was the hope for my legacy? What do I want it to be? And it was real simple. I wanted it to be clear that I did not quit.
Okay.
And that I always remembered to pivot.
Okay.
You know, and I think that is what's going to enable. I've got 3 amazing girls, and I think that's what's going to enable them to thrive in their career ventures that they seek to go on. I think I'm giving them more than money could have ever given them. Is what my folks would have called stick-to-itiveness.
Right.
You know, so
right.
So I'm hoping that will continue to be my testament, that the public will continue to see that I kept it moving. Right. But I finally have gotten to a place where I now have fresh new petitions than I've had in the past. And it's real simple. I don't want God necessarily to enlarge my territory, but I want him to refine it.
Okay.
I want him to ensure that I am never satisfied with just enough in what it is that I put out. And I want everything that you see come from me, even in the coming months when we talk about the adaptation of Beauty and the Beast and the other shows that we're doing. I would like for the next time, even though you said, you know, you were impressed and you enjoyed your experience last time you were at the Encore, my prayer is that God will elevate my creative stance in this thing in a way that when you step in, you will see that God is taking what I do creatively to another level. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to be better than I've ever been. I'm hoping to learn more. I'm hoping to experience and dive into more ways of telling my stories. I keep telling people every time they come to the Encore that Black people are not a monolith. Okay. And I say it all the time, and it sounds real good, man. And I use my good, proper telephone company voice, you know, and that we don't all like the same thing. And so I've now put demands on myself to ensure that I'm speaking to as many facets of our diaspora as we possibly can, and not just what's worked for me
I got you.
in the past. So I want to evolve. I want to evolve as a writer. I want to evolve as a director. I want to see more theaters across the nation doing my work without it having to be babysit by me as a director, as a producer. I want more spaces to be equipped with the tools that I can generate to continue to tell our stories in a way that only someone who's had the lived experiences of being a Black man in America can do. So a lot of stories out there, but they aren't all penned by us. You know?
I get it.
So that's the plan.
So do me a favor. People are seeing us today in Strick City, and they're hearing you, and they're like, wow, I know Mark Raby. I haven't supported. I don't know Mark Raby. I want to support. How can people contact you, contact Encore, and be a part of the movement that you have now?
It's real simple. Our web address is www.encorebham.org. So Encore, BHAM Also, I'm guilty of not always answering every call and not responding to every text. But one thing I do is at the close of the evening and just before I put my head to pillow, I do comb through the messages. So inboxing on Mr. Mark Raby. I am Mark Raby on Instagram. Okay. I am Mark Raby on Facebook. Find me. Shoot me a message. I'll respond. I can't guarantee I'll respond quickly, but I will respond. Try to be more honest about my shortcomings too.
Well, there you go. You go. We're gonna work on the assistant too. Hey guys, this is Mr. Mark Raby. I am Mark Raby, the owner of Encore Theater in Birmingham, Alabama. He has some great things coming up. I want you to be a part of that. So please contact him and look up Encore online. The website again is
www.encorebham.org.
So go check it out, buy some tickets, and tell them Strick sent you. There's a discount code for Strick City, right?
Let's type that in and see what it does.
Let's go.
Strick City.
Strick City. So when you go to buy the tickets, just type in Strick City.
Strick City.
We'll see what happens. Ha! Hey man, thank you for joining us. I really do appreciate you taking the time to hear what we had to say tonight. More to come, so stay locked in to Strick City Live.